Every estate agent dreads getting that phone call or letter from HMRC. But what happens when it actually arrives? Zoe, take me back to when you found out about the inspection. What went through your head?
Well, the phone call came from HMRC at 4 p.m. on a Friday on a bank holiday weekend in May,
Brilliant.
which was marvellous, followed by an email that gave us 5 days to produce all of our procedures and the procedures of the anti-money laundering to get back to them. And of course, that was a great bank holiday weekend because I was looking at everything, all the policies and procedures to get back to them within that 5 days. And of course, bank holiday Monday didn't help because there was no one to reach out to.
No, exactly. So how did you prepare over that bank holiday weekend? How did you deal with the nervousness?
Well, the first weekend I didn't. The first weekend it was awful, and there's nothing worse than getting a call from HMRC, because however compliant that you feel that you are, there's still that why us? Why would you pick on us?
Yeah.
But what was great is we got back on the Tuesday morning, and it did give me the 3 days to think about what to do. And Smart Compliance and Lifetime Legal, they really did what they say on the tin in terms of helping. So I picked the phone up. I believe I spoke to yourself, and it was literally like a comfort blanket of saying to us, look, no problem. We will make sure when the inspection comes that we'll have 2 of the directors with you, all free of charge. You know, I was quite surprised that they would come all the way to Essex to come and just sit with us. But yeah, indeed they did.
So at that point, so that initial sort of first three days, obviously you spent the weekend thinking about everything.
Mm-hmm.
From your experience, what do most agents get wrong when this happens?
Well, the natural thing is to panic, because you the first thing you do is look at your policies and procedures and decide whether they're they're compliant and whether they're up to date and whether they'll be fined. But the biggest worry is the fear of fines. You know, when you're an independent company, you really can't, you can ill afford a big fine.
Yeah, absolutely. So Zoe, talk us through the day itself. How did it unfold?
Okay, well, the first phone call was in May, and just going backwards slightly, we were expecting them to turn up sort of June, July time. We hadn't heard a single thing until September, so
Wow.
we had to go from May till September thinking, is this going to happen? Have they remembered us? Have they forgotten about us? Let's lay low and hope that they have. But it came to October, and they came on an October day. William and David came from Smart Compliance. They're both, I believe, qualified directors.
Yes.
And yes, it turned out pretty good. We had 4.5 hours of being questioned.
How many questions was it? Because I know the exact answer to it.
47?
Yes.
47 questions.
Yep.
And, I was able, thankfully, well, as a director of the company, to be able to answer the majority of the questions, but they wanted that little bit of extra detail with the money laundering as to what we do next and how we qualify specific types, including trusts and probates and all the obvious stuff that we deal with on a day to or week to week basis. But that's when Will and David came in to their own.
Yeah. And what kind of support did David and William give you in the room when the inspection was happening?
I think the support was invaluable, because we answered every question comprehensively between us, and Will and David were like being an extended part of our team.
Yeah.
They were an extended part of our team, and as a result of that, we were able to, as far as HMRC were concerned, we were all the same company, which was fantastic. What HMRC wanted to hear is that we're not reliant totally on Lifetime Legal. They wanted to ensure that as a director of the company, we were in control of our own procedures and our own policies, and that the procedures and policies were specific to our business.
Yeah.
But well, Will and David, they were just answered everything, but I would have probably hesitated and stuttered at.
How did it feel having those qualified experts sat next to you and able to help you with those complex questions? How did the team feel having them in the office? Because that's, for me, something that may be quite unnerving, having sort of the team feel the pressure as well.
Yeah, the team did feel the pressure, but having them in the office as well was brilliant, because at the end of, or towards the end of that 4.5 hours, they wanted to pluck some random properties from transactions in the last year, and we had to produce the money laundering for each of those transactions that they selected. We didn't select, so it was completely at random. But that's when the lifetime legal packs, they're just invaluable.
Yeah, exactly that. So what did HMRC sort of specifically say about the compliance packs that you have?
Well, they were very impressed with the compliance packs because they're so comprehensive. And if there's any doubt with any aspect of compliance, that gets escalated to the money laundering officer, which was able to be demonstrated.
Yeah, perfect. So how did that make you feel, having that reassurance that once they started checking the packs that you knew it was going to be okay?
Well, nobody knows when they're going to get a phone call from HMRC, and even they said it's completely random. So and they don't even get to choose themselves. They just get presented with the next so many cases. So how it made me feel was we were able to have the confidence of showing the compliance in a very constructive way, and I don't think we would have been able to have done that prior to using Lifetime Legal.
Okay. And did HMRC sort of say anything about the packs? What was that sort of
They were
feedback?
really impressed with the packs, and impressed with our answers. I think they were very impressed with absolutely everything that we produced. It's really, I can't stress enough that it's really important to have your own policies and procedures in place. Lifetime Legal supply a really good template, but it was really important to ensure that we adjusted that to fit our style of business.
Absolutely, absolutely. So what would you say to another estate agent that's nervous about HMRC inspections?
Well, you never know when that inspection is going to come, and the anxiety it can create is mammoth. The 47 questions were not light-hearted questions; they were complex. So, what would I say? You need to know your stuff. That's for sure. You need to make sure that all of the team have been trained, and annually as well. And like I say, that phone call can come at any moment. So with Lifetime Legal, what that was able to produce was certainly the anti-money laundering side in respect to ID, and that was for both buyers and sellers and any transaction. And then, of course, we have to do the proof of funding as well. And in addition to that, it's not just proof of funding, it was also a source of funding. But we do that.
Yes.
So that was good. So we were able to demonstrate source of funding as well as proof of funding.
So we've spoken a bit about our guarantee that we offer estate agents. Why is that so important to you as a business owner, having that guarantee in place? What did that mean to you over that weekend, that bank holiday weekend?
Well, it gave me a lifeline to think that, right, there is somebody that I can call that I think is going to be able to help. And when Smart Compliance, which is part of Lifetime Legal, came to us, they guaranteed that as long as they did every single ID check, that if HMRC came along and anything was wrong, that they would pay for the fine. So I had that in the back of my mind that, okay, we've got the comfort of the fact that if we are going to get fined, Lifetime Legal have said they're going to pay for it if they've done anything wrong, which was potentially a godsend to a small, like I say, an independent company. So yeah, that was good.
Excellent. So I suppose that moves into sort of how you operate on a day-to-day basis. So obviously you pass us all of your clients, every buyer, every seller comes through us. But how has working with us changed how you operate on an AML kind of day-to-day basis?
Well, greatly. I mean, you realise how many agents out there do not do it properly at all. And when we switched from doing our own in-house anti-money laundering to Lifetime Legal, we realised that we did it well, but not well enough. That was a godsend. And like I say, because HMRC want all the transactions in the past year, thankfully the majority of those were within the lifetime legal.
You were lucky.
we were lucky, but that's the message I'd give to any
Yeah.
estate agent,
Yeah.
is that there's no time like the present to start with lifetime legal, because you never know when that year, when HMRC are going to make that call. So the quicker you get on board and the quicker that you get your year under your belt,
Absolutely.
then the better.
Absolutely. So I always like to end asking this one question. If you could describe smart compliance in one word, what would it be?
Invaluable. I've used that word 2 or 3 times, but
Yeah, perfect. It's stories like Zoe's that remind us why smart compliance exists. To protect estate agents, to simplify the process, and to make sure no one ever faces an HMRC audit alone.